Alright guys, welcome back. So, where we left off in our last tutorial, we were just discussing how our old battle system determined what should happen next. What would happen when we started our battle. So what we're going to do is we're going to start moving some of this data over into our new scene. So I'm just going to go ahead, we're going to copy this, and we're going to put that over here into our virtual machine where I've started this, and we're going to go ahead and start building our scene as we go. So as you remember, I accidentally hit the cancel, so let's go ahead and re-add this. Alright, so the first steps of building our battle system for GTBS, of course, is to define our scene. There are plenty of other things we could be looking at first, but I think this is really where we want to start because, I mean, in the end, this is the way you want it to look, etc. But really, the more we get into this, then... Oh, it didn't copy my text, so that's pretty awesome. Let's go ahead and actually set this over here on the side so I can see it. And then we are going to just go ahead and kind of start copying it a little bit here. Because, of course, much of this information is already written and available over here, so why recreate the wheel? So, on our start command here, you know what, actually let's quickly create these other methods here, just like we did before. Def update, def pre-terminate, and def terminate. Alright, so now we've got our start method. So the start method is everything that should be performed first. Now, let's quickly take a look at scene battle. What is the very first thing performed in it? It will of course call super from scene base. If we take a look at it, start says create main viewport. Create main viewport, of course, will then create its viewport, which says viewport and sets its Z as 200. So we'll go ahead and now we go back over to our battle system. So the super method is going to want to be called, so we'll just call super over here. And then our next thing here was create sprite set, and then create all windows, and then set the method for waiting for message. So let's just go ahead, we're going to go ahead and copy that and move it right over here into our battle. You know what we really ought to do is actually make this less than just scene battle. Well, no, because then it'll allow too many your other battle systems could very likely conflict with it in that case, so we're not going to do that. I mean, not to say that it might not be a bad thing, but yeah, I'm not sure on that. So our wait for message is a method within this class, so we need to create that method so that it can be called. So let's go ahead and take a look at how they do it in the scene battle. Let's go ahead and search def wait for message, and here we've got message window update for wait while the message is visible. Update for wait is probably not too far off, but I don't see it. So we're just going to go ahead. I'm happy to copy and paste because it means less code to write, right? Okay, so update for wait. Where is it? Update for wait is right here, and it just basically says update basic. Update basic, of course, is the method in the main thread. I'm sorry, not the main thread, but the base scene, and it basically says update your graphics, update your input, and update all your windows. Update all windows, instant variables each, get the name, and if it is a window. Oh, that's actually a really nifty way of doing that. I like it. It basically will go through and say, alright, well, for this object, look through all of the instance variables, and using those names, go ahead and get it, stored in a local variable, and then of course check and see, is that local variable a window? If it is, then perform update. So very very classy, or very smart thing that they did there. So let's see, where was update all windows? I kind of got distracted by that. That was called by update basic, of course, so update basic will always update your windows. So let's go ahead, and so our update for weight is going to go ahead and do that. So the next part is we need to create our sprite set. This is our background. This is our battlers. This is all of those additional situations that we need to consider as far as creating anything that needs to be displayed to the user as we go through this. So here we've got create sprite set. Let's go again, take a look at the base version here. So create sprite set, we'll just copy it and search, and it basically says sprite set battle new. Now sprite set battle, if we take a look at it, so we're going to go ahead and say class sprite set battle. It goes through and creates the viewport, creates the battle back, creates the enemies, the actors, any pictures, the timer, and then performs an update. Now the question is though, is this stuff we actually need for GTBS? Most of this is yes. However, do we want a battle backs 1 and 2, etc.? I'm not sure that we do. And besides that, we also want the map to display, right? So what we need is another version of initialize, probably off of this, that says if it's a TBS battle, then go ahead and initialize it this way. Otherwise, then initialize it this way. Now, the reason we might do that is because, of course, again, because we want to maintain compatibility with other scripts that you might be creating. But if we can specify, well, there's only one problem with that, and that is that if the other people who modify the script, the scene battle, and those were put below the GTBS, any additional arguments that you might put onto it here, like that, are going to get trimmed off when they do theirs, because they're probably not going to be passing any arguments to it, and they're not going to pass them through from layer to layer, because of course they don't know or expect you to be doing that. So it might actually be better to create a new method within the sprite set battle class in order to do that. So that way we maintain compatibility with this, so that if you wanted to use, like I've seen some of those the 3D scripts for rotating your map and things along those lines, you can do all of that from within here. Or I'm sorry, that's this right here. I'm sorry, not in sprite set battle, but in sprite set map is where they make mainly all of those changes. So if we wanted to just inherit off of the map, then we need to prevent certain things from loading because they don't pertain to battle. Or for that matter, we may not even care altogether, and you have to specify the events that should happen during battle. Actually, maybe that's a better way to do it. So what we do is, when we initialize the battle, you have to pass in, or not pass in, but before you call the battle, you would have to specify which events on that particular map should pertain to the battle. The only problem with that is the same problem we had with GTBS originally, which was that if people want to do random encounters, then it will always teleport you to X and Y location on the map and so on, right? But what if those pieces of information were not provided prior to the battle, then what we would do is say, go ahead and just randomly place those enemies around you and place all of your actors somewhere